Because they're not in here yet, and I want to start. Okay. So I got it on the volatility index because I wanted to show y'all that we need to because we're trading the indices, we have to mark up the volatility index too. Because when the volatility index went up today, that's what dropped the market. But I'm still here. Okay. My bad.
You.
My bad. My bad. It cut out. My internet had just cut off just a second ago. They working on my line supposed to be. Did I just do my house? Okay, yes. Hey, Quita. So I wanted to show y'all how the volatility index, how we have to start marking the volatility index when you trade in indices. So I'm gonna back test this. That's what the purpose of this call is for us to do back testing on the charts, and I'm gonna show y'all how it correlates. I was already looking at this, but I'm gonna show y'all on here. I'm gonna show y'all on here. Okay, so we're gonna mark up the weekly chart for the volatility index. The high is the high is 2209. So we mark the weekly high as 2209. The weekly low at 1888. So 2209, 1888. And the mid is 2049. So we're not marking this up to trade it. We're marking this up to reference the indices. To look at this in reference to the, like, how does this move in reference to the indices? Now, y'all know what the volatility index is? The VIX. Do y'all know what it is? What it's measuring?
No.
So the VIX measures human emotion based off of how people are feeling. So it's moving based off of so the news and stuff that's happening, you will see they're measuring human emotion on this chart. The worry of people went up today when the market dropped. But you can see it on a chart in pattern how it goes up and down, just like anything else. So you see here today, the volatility index shot up. Okay. I'm gonna mark right here on Wednesday. Matter of fact, I want to show you something. So here on Wednesday is when the volatility index started to go up. All before that, when the volatility index was dropping, people were worried was going down from Monday. So this is Monday and this is Wednesday. This is today. I'm gonna come back down to the 4 hour, right? Now you see, as it's going down, right? Now I'm gonna come over to the US30. I got the days marked on the US30 because it's an entry for the entry times. So you can see on Monday when people worry was going down, the market went up. So from Monday here to Wednesday, the market went up. When when it was going down here. So when people worry were going down, the US30, the NASDAQ stocks was going up. Same thing here for the NASDAQ. This is Monday. We'll delete the other one. What was the other back testing? But um, when the volatility index was going up, was coming down, that's when the market was buying. When the volatility index went up, when people worry went up like this, when people worry shot up and started to shoot up, right here is when the market started to drop. That's when the market turned around. When people worry started going up. So right here is Wednesday. On Wednesday, the market made a new high and broke the mid-month level of support by the next day when people worry started going up. So yeah, I see how that correlates to the NAS and the US30. But how it correlates to gold is because while people worry was going up, so was gold. Because they need a hard asset. Gold is a hard asset. So when you speaking in reference to analyzing that in reference to gold, the reason gold shot up is because people was worried. They need somewhere to put their money where they think it's going to be safe. And gold being a hard asset, gold is going to go up. If the volatility index is going up, then gold is going up too because people is worried. The worry had just started coming down when the worry had just started to come down a couple weeks ago after it had peaked its high. Okay. We could actually test this theory on what I'm saying. Okay. So here it is. We're gonna mark this week, the week of, because we ending out this Monday ends out the first quarter of the year. So they finna end out the quarter real bad because the market dropped 600 fucking points. today. So the first quarter is starting out in a negative due to people being worried about the inflation. And because they're worried about the inflation, that's why you got them putting their money into a hard asset like gold. And that's why gold made another new high today. Well, went up to 86, 3086 gold went up to. So it broke the monthly high of 57 and went up to 84. So these are things to consider when you're doing your analysis. So look at all confluences in accordance to what you trade, to what you're trading, what instrument you're trading. Because there's always a confluence on a different instrument that goes in accordance to what you're trading. Usually, typically, when gold is buying, the dollar is dropping. That moves in accordance with gold. So when you see gold buying, the dollar's dropping like it did.
The dollar did drop.
Yeah, the dollar dropped. The dollar definitely dropped. This is the dollar right here. So I always mark up the dollar because we trade gold, and I know if the dollar is selling, then gold is buying. If the dollar is buying, then gold is usually selling. But the dollar been declining so heavy, so fucking heavy, and it's not done declining. That's the real shit. It's really not done. So gold is not finished making its high. Like if you're looking at it from a weekly calendar, it's like from the weekly chart. This is the weekly order block down here. The strong weekly order block is down here, which means the dollar is likely not done selling. So if the dollar is not done selling, then gold damn sure ain't done buying. So
Okay.
just moving in accordance with that. Just look at where the dollar is at right now. This isn't engulfing. This is coming out of a weekly sell order block, and it went past this buy order block here. But the stronger buy order block is here. The reason this one is the strongest because you had a high volume of orders come out of this area right here. A higher volume of orders come out of here than out of here. It bought stronger from here. So that's what it's going to come back to. So if the dollar is not, if last time the dollar went up was when Trump came into office. The dollar went up and gold went down. The mark. Well, on March 10th. So I was testing that theory on the volatility index. So what I'm doing is I'm testing the theory, what I just said, as far and syncing it in accordance with the VIX, the volatility index. That should be also like if you're trading indices and you're trading anything with the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar does move when, as according to people, human emotion. Human emotion is what's inflating the dollar for real. And all the bullshit that people is worried about is what's driving the dollar in decline. So the fact that the dollar declined like how it did, you can bet your damn money that you're gonna see shit go up by next week. You might go in the store tomorrow and the shit that was one price yesterday is not that price today. That's what's gonna take place. The dollar declining is some real shit. So that some real shit is about to really take place, and you're witnessing it on the market and on the chart. But real shit is happening as far as like the the dollar declining like how it did today, and the worry of people is going up. How it is because inflation. What doesn't? How does inflation affect people? If inflation affect people because the cost of goods is going to go up. That's due to the news conference that Trump just had. That news conference that Trump just had, what he's saying basically, he's trying to keep, or he's keeping a minimum tax on like a tax cap for American businesses, meaning like the exports that come over, he's gonna charge them more. He signed that in. That's supposed to go into effect by the third, like stamped into like he signed it into office the other day on Thursday that was, but it's supposed to go into effect Wednesday by the second. It's supposed to go into effect. So them import exports that's the goods that's coming in, they're getting charged at a higher price because they don't have any American factories. So basically it's incentivized that either you get an you get a factory based over here in America, or you're gonna pay the premium for the cost of goods that's coming in. Now, the stuff that's coming in, the the cost of goods, the goods that's coming in, we get all most of our stuff from China, from from overseas, from Canada. We get a lot of our stuff from overseas. So they get the reason people are losing money right now. And the reason the stocks is dropping and businesses is selling because a lot of them have businesses overseas. Do y'all not remember that a lot of these businesses put their factories and shit overseas?
Mm-hmm.
So they just got premiumly taxed. If they don't move, it's basically like we call it a Trump card. Like I'm gonna trump you by raising your taxes if you don't bring your business back to America. You're an American-based business. You can't have your goods over there across seas. If you don't have a factory here, you might want to start building. Otherwise, you're gonna pay a higher tax if you across there. For those American people, for the American people with American factories, they're good. But just to show you, we got Wednesday mark here. We're gonna go over to about the week of the 10th mark there. Monday, March 10th, week over to the VIX. That's when gold had made that new high. Okay? The first new high that it made. Do the same thing. And that's the week the dollar dropped so significantly. Is when gold made a new high. Look how oil sank. Monday, the week of Monday, March 10th, that week, the dollar dropped very heavily. The When the dollar dropped, as you can see here, the worry of people shot up to an all-time high. So the week where gold started to go up, when gold broke the consolidation that it was in. That same week, gold had broke consolidation and made a new high and been going up ever since. So y'all, when we looking at the chart and we analyzing the chart, You want to mark or if you trading anything against the US dollar, mark up the dollar. Mark up the DXY. You want to mark up the dollar index. This is the DXY right here. This is the dollar index. This is what measures how the dollar moves. So you want to mark up the dollar index. You want to mark up the VIX, which is the volatility index. This is measuring human emotion. And so when you're trading, this is if you're trading gold and any pair against the dollar for real. Like if you're trading anything against the dollar, you should be marking up the DXY. Anything against USD, you should be marking up the DXY. So looking at what we're looking at for next week in accordance to information. Now you know you take your entries at that what I was telling y'all the other day. All right, put the candle on back. So without the strategy plays out kind of mechanically and looking at how it moves. When it's above the midweek, we're buying. We're above the mid-month, we're buying. Below that, we're selling. Last night, around 5 a.m. on a 5 a.m. candle, 4-hour candle, I seen that it was hovering under here. It was hovering under here. It had began hovering under here from yesterday. So after 5 o'clock, it just kind of stayed under the mid-month mark. So I was anticipating that it was going to sell. Now, what I looked at is this is the low that I had it marked for was under the buy order block here, 41.30. 41.430 is where I had it marked at. But because I was anticipating that it was going to retest the order block before the buy. It has to retest. The retest is the buy confirmation. So before the buy confirmation, it has to do a retest. It ended out the low of the market ended out at 41.428. I had it marked at 41.430. Because I said it was going to come back down into my order, into the 4-hour order block where it played out of last Friday. Last Friday, that's where it bought to. Literally the next Friday today, it came right exactly back down to where it came to. So that's why I had it there for the sell. But I don't enter until 9 o'clock. I got my entries marked at 9 o'clock. Though I was seeing it play out, I like to wait to give myself patience and let the market move. It was only really consolidating through the night. It didn't start moving until 5 a.m. When it made this flat candle, I knew that it was gonna I knew it was gonna sell when it did this right here. When it opened up like this at 5 o'clock. So yesterday at 5 o'clock, 5 in the morning, it's when it came out like this. It's when the sell confirmed. But my entry is always at 9 a.m. on the US30. That's the entry time on that 9 o'clock candle. DJ, the JPYs move in accordance. Um, the JPYs move in accordance with the indices too, like in the same direction as the indices. As you can see, the JPY is sold too, because they move in accordance with the indices. And sure enough, that 9 o'clock candle was the one to get in on for the sell for DJ. Which came out right after that. I think I was calling to sell out on this before. Cryptos drop right into a order block. Bitcoin went down. To be honest, Bitcoin can actually come all the way down to 76. Because is that the monthly low? Yeah, the monthly low is 76,555. Definitely. It can retest the monthly low before it come back up. But on Tuesday we have to remark the month. We do our monthly markup. We got to do that a class on Tuesday for the monthly markup because on Tuesday we got a new month. That's a new markup. Now, while we might mark up the new week
that can be one of our pop-ups, the weekly pop-up.
Because we have to do it, on a week. We're gonna on a weekly pop-up on Tuesday. We're gonna do the monthly markup because we get a new month and a new quarter on Tuesday. But the weekly call for the markup for the week is gonna be Sunday after market open. We're gonna do a class on Sunday for the weekly markup for our weekly outlook once the market open. Today is just for back testing. What moves you took in the market this week? What lessons did you learn? What did you get out of the market? So it's really supposed to be everyone participating. I don't know what trade y'all took, unless y'all tell me, or unless it's something that we called out. Now, from Monday to Wednesday, I was in US30 US30 for the buy. So I caught the buy from Monday to Wednesday. When the market started to turn was on Wednesday when it made the new high. Right after, it never came back to this high. It sold from underneath this, which was also inside of a daily order block. Well, a 4-hour order block. It played the 4-hour order block. So it came right into this 4-hour order block. Yeah. This is what the order block right here that it plays. So 30. So these are the order blocks that it played in between right here. So bought from here out of this buy order block. There's the 4-hour buy order block right here from 441 to 430. It's where it bought from last week to here to the top of this order block, the sell order block. This 4-hour sell order block is where it sold from. When I seen that it wasn't breaking, this is what made me close out my trade. Is when I seen that it wasn't breaking the 4-hour order block. It wasn't breaking above that. And then when you're talking about the strength of volume of that order block, I'm gonna show you how you determine the strength of an order block, like how strong that order block is. When you go back to see when it was formed and you see an engulfing, see the strong engulfing candle that came out of it before, right here. You see that candle right here? This candle right here, this candle that came out of this order block says that this is a high volume order block and that the 30 wasn't breaking it. This candle right here. This one that went all the way down. So the last time it dropped like that was the beginning of the month. We had a heavy drop out of this same order block.
Recording in progress.
Out of the same order block is where we had to sell from. So that order block, was a strong order block. And when it didn't break is when I came out of the buy. But I know I had to retest the order block in order to continue for the buy before the buy can continue. So while we got the heavy sell going on, we're inside a order block right now, a buy order block. So there can be news probably on Tuesday after we got it coming into a daily order block. We came into a daily buy order block, daily, weekly, 4-hour order block, buy order block. Here's the order block that it's in right now on a daily. You see the same order block on a 4-hour. On a 4-hour, it shows as 3 order blocks. 1, 2, 3. Even though the second low skinny one is actually a stronger order block. So it can sell to right here and that would be like the end of the daily order block right here. So it can come down to the end of the daily order block because this is a stronger order block. Right here. Let's put a block right here. Right here. And you can see that that's the daily order block. This one right here that I drew in, that's the end of the daily order block right here, which is the third order block on the 4 hour. So we end one order block right here. The order block is not determined by the size of how big the box is. That's not how you determine how strong the order block is. The strength of the order block is determined by the volume of sales that came out of it, not by how big the order block looks. So while this little skinny order block right here on the 4 hour might look like, a small ass order block, look at the volume of sales that came out of it. The volume of buys that came out of this area right here. We got 2 consecutive engulfings right here that came out of this order block. So the second one is actually a stronger order block than the one that it's in right now. So it can technically sell down to 41, 200, probably come down here before you start seeing some rejection. It might actually retest this monthly low because we never got a retest on a monthly low, which is 46.61. We have a market closed at 41.428, but the monthly low is 46.61.5. So we never got a retest on there. So it can actually retest that monthly low, which is also the buy order block on the daily. Right into the buy order block on the weekly. So for the 30, I will wait for it to play out. You're gonna know if it's gonna sell based off of how the market open up. Because the market is gonna likely probably open up and drop down some. It's gonna make its indication for this weekly indication on Sunday. You're gonna see it come down. It's gonna come up open and drop. We got these strong volume of sales that came in before the market closed. So on Sunday open, you're likely gonna open. It's gonna open up and drop. But we're gonna know where it's dropping to. So based off of how it opened up, how the market closed out, we're gonna see a drop right here. This is a strong volume of sales right here that came in out of this 4 hour order block. We don't have a retest on the monthly low. It never retested this level. You see? This is the monthly low. It never came back down to 661. It just bought from there. It never came back down. So it can likely definitely come to 661. So you might, in the beginning of the week, you might want to get in for a sell. It's probably going to sell until that thing is actually in effective. So we're probably looking at sales up until Wednesday for next week on the US30 and on the NASDAQ. You're looking at sales probably up until Wednesday. And gold, this is coming down, the NAS is coming down to retest that monthly low. but it's a buy order block underneath there. On a daily. This order block down here. So I'm still looking for it to sell up until like Wednesday, because the NAS follows the US30. If the VIX index continues to rise and if the dollar continues to decline, we're definitely going to see gold continue to buy. So I would say wait to gold pull back to get your buy entry, because gold is going to be probably buying for the next few days, and when it pulls back for sell, that is your entry for your buy. When you see gold selling, you wait for it to finish selling and get in for your buy, because a gold sell is just a pullback. Do y'all got any other pair that y'all want me to look at while we doing some back testing? I know y'all probably took some calls and stuff last week. Do y'all got anything y'all want me to back test and go over to find any correlations too? Okay. So on Sunday, around 7 o'clock after market open, 8 o'clock on Sunday, we're gonna get in the market and mark up our charts for Sunday to start looking at our confirmations based off of how the week opens. On Tuesday, the new month candle comes out. So on Tuesday, when we do a pop-up session, we're also going to be marking up the monthly chart, because we mark up from the top down. So we mark up from the monthly or down, but the new month candle does not come out until Tuesday. Probably Monday evening it comes out. Monday at 6 o'clock is when the new month candle comes out. Yeah, Monday at 6 o'clock we get a new month candle. So on Tuesday we'll be doing that call, or we can do it Monday night, but we got to mark the month up too. So we're done for the week. Y'all have a good week. Y'all make sure y'all study. I'm gonna be putting this call and yesterday's call up on YouTube. The calls that I do on a weekly basis, I keep them up for a week. After a week, it's only available to Infinite Wealth. It's only available to our students, but it's available on YouTube for the first week for y'all to go back and look at and see. Okay. If we don't have nothing else to go over right now, we're gonna go ahead and end it out, and I'm gonna be putting this call up and yesterday's call up today. Okay. Last week's call is still up there. It's gonna be up there until we do the next call on Sunday. But y'all need to be going over and reviewing and sharpening your entries. How you get great, how you become great is you keep studying and keep your head in the books. Okay, you do gotta get your rest. Do be able to rest your mind and focus and meditate, but you sharpen your weak areas. Okay, use this weekend to sharpen your weaker areas, areas where you could have improvement at, areas where you know you need improvement at. If you need improvement on your entries, then work on your entries. If you need improvement on your markups, then work on your markups this weekend. If you need improvement on your stop losses, improve your stop losses this weekend. Use the weekend time to improve where you messed up at during the week. Because your losses is always a lesson. There's always a lesson in your loss if you go back and look at it. So use this weekend to perfect your losses. Where you took a loss at is usually either because sometimes you either got in too early, you wasn't patient enough to have the trade play out, or you set your stop too tight. Those are usually the reasons why somebody lose in a trade. You got in too early, and then in the trade you had your stop set tight, and your trade still went the direction you planned it to go. or you wasn't patient enough to let the trade setup that you seen play out. So use this weekend to go in and perfect where you're messing up at. Okay, that's what you use your weekend time for, to perfect your trading. So we're gonna go ahead and end it here, and I'm gonna put this video up later today. It's gonna be available on the YouTube channel, Crypto Queen FX _ on YouTube. Okay, same thing on Instagram and on TikTok. So we're gonna go ahead and end it here, y'all. Have a good weekend. See y'all Sunday.